Hello and welcome to episode 7. I think it's 7 of the Ali Was podcast. I'm gonna just quick that really check. I'm gonna check that really quickly. This has been a terrible start. This has been a disgraceful start, and I am used to starting badly. I'm used to being unprepared, and this is probably as bad as it gets. It is episode 7. Didn't even need to check. I knew I was right. How are you doing? Are you doing well? Are you looking after yourself? If you're in the UK, you will know that summer has been rescheduled. Summer has been rescheduled. What we're doing now, instead, we're going to have 2 winters. That's what's happening in the UK. I didn't realise this is what the plan was, but we're doing autumn reruns all through summer. All through summer, you'll remember what it's like to be in October. That's what's happening here. It's a disgrace. It's honestly a disgrace. As a ginger person, even I'm annoyed that there's no sun. It's just grey every day. It's grey. And the days are longer. So you can really experience the grey for as long as possible. It's not even warm. It's not even humid or anything. It's just October. That's all it is. We're just having October in the middle of the year. Get that weather machine on, government. Come on, turn it up. That's what we want. Hope you're doing well. I appreciate, as always, the comments and feedback that I get for this podcast, and those who listen. It honestly means the world to me. This is the most personal project I've got on at the moment. It is, you know what the score is by now. If you're listening, episode 7, you know it's me and a mic in my bedroom, and that's all we've got. There's no producer, there's no guests. This is what we're doing. And so I appreciate anyone who gets involved. This Alexia's commenting on YouTube. I kind of commented before. Thank you, this Alexia. She's quoted me, "Eat this, won't be long now," and then laughing emojis, "love you." I don't remember what that was in reference to. As soon as I turn off this mic and this camera, my mind blanks. I'm like the Men in Black, just straight into my face. I have no idea what I said. It's like a fever dream, so I'll wake up out of it. But thank you. Hope you enjoyed this, Alexia. And Marie Lumay, maybe? I'm sorry, but yeah, whatever. I'm sorry about that. Marie Lumay, Lumai. I don't know. Maybe she's AI. Maybe I should get some AI to comment on this. That's actually a good idea. Write that down, Ali. AI fans. People always talk about creating content with the AI. I'm creating fans with AI. I'm going to get all these comments. Love your stuff. Really love the human element of this. I'm going to make sure it sounds very human-y, you know. This must be a wall of smart sayings from Marie Lumay. And yeah, and that's in reference to the quotes I got on my wall, and appreciate you. Yes, I do try and keep those quotes up on the wall. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and put it on my Instagram. I haven't done that for a while. People sometimes find it useful. I sometimes find it useful. I definitely find it useful when I'm feeling a bit low. I look up there and I just think of some of the quotes. I'm looking at it right now. This one I have is specific to me. Your next video could change your life. That always gets me going. If I ever think, is there a point to putting something out there today? I just think could change, man. Like that overshirt video I did, man. It got smashed. Got millions of views, loads of followers. It's another one just by me. If I don't jump, then I die here. That's from a song. And that's what I always think. If I don't jump, I die here. And that's what I think when I'm thinking about progressing. I'm thinking about, can I push through to the next bit? It's like, if I don't push through to the next bit, then I'll just get upset. I'll lose who I am. I'll be upset here. So you gotta keep pushing through. And that's the same to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're looking after yourself. The Euros are just starting. They're just starting. Now, first game yesterday, Scotland got absolutely battered. As is the way. Now, look, guys, if you're listening to this, watching this, you'll look at me. If you're watching it specifically, you'll look at me and think, that's a Scottish man. That is a I could do this podcast like this. I could be like, have you seen what's happening in our country at the moment? It's a disgrace. The way we are being treated by the rest of the UK, by England, again, could be a whole different podcast. Could be a whole different pod. Probably get more views. Probably get more angry people watching it. The way we have been treated over the years by the English. Thing is, guys, if you didn't know already, I'm half Scottish. My mum is from Scotland. And so I do have some blood and some stake involved in the Scottish football national team. But having said that, I never feel Scottish. It's bizarre. Like, you know what it's like. Someone's grandma will have a pint of Guinness 80 years ago, and that person today will be like, I'm a bit Irish. I'm actually a bit Irish. But for me, the Scottishness, I don't know why. I mean, I look Scottish. I look more Scottish than anyone else in my family. I look more Scottish than my Scottish family. But I don't know what it is. I feel whenever I go to Scotland, I feel like an outsider there. I think what happens is they see me and they go, "Here is one of us, a lovely slice of Aberdeen Angus." And then I go, "Hello, how are you doing? Oh, my mother's from Coatbridge, do you know it?" And they go, "Fucking disgrace, man. That is... Our man's been colonised. He's been colonised." So I feel like I should have more pride in being Scottish. You know what it's like? Some people who have a parent from another country, you know, they feel like a real connection with that country, or I don't know. Maybe it's a case of nowadays. I think we're being encouraged to appreciate the sort of diversity of cultures that we're from, and I think that is a good thing. But then I think some people, they use it as a way to make themselves more interesting. They have this as a part of their identity to just be like, look, I'm not normal either. And maybe sometimes that's a bit forced. I don't want to walk around, like, I could walk around being like, oh, I'm really Scottish. I'm Scottish in my heart, but I'm not. I've never lived there. My friends, my best mates aren't Scottish. I'm not in the Scottish club. I'm not smashing iron brew every day and having a pizza crunch. If you don't know what pizza crunch is, you'll know what a deep fried Mars bar is. That is famous Scottish cuisine. But a pizza crunch is the same concept. A pizza. Do you remember how unhealthy a pizza is? Remember that? So imagine that pizza deep fried. And they wonder why there's an obesity crisis. Deep fried pizza. They're going to work out how to just get a tube of batter and just squeeze. You know, astronauts with the food, you'll be having that around 5, just squeezing batter into your fucking... you know what is stopping me? Annoying was the Mars bar or the pizza. I just want the fucking batter, man. I just want to squeeze it into my mouth. But yeah, I've never really felt that. I don't want to push it. I've had articles before. Yeah, I've been writing about in articles. I'm so sorry. I have. Awkward. I've had articles before where I've been mentioned as a Scottish act. You've never seen me, pal. But also that's another agency thing. What else? What could we write about you? We can't just say you're, a straight white middle class man from the south of England. We have to have something. Something. Do you have depression? Do you have anxiety? Do you have something? Do you have epilepsy? Bipolar? Something? Half Scottish? Yes, that is at least something. Okay, say you're Scottish. Say you're Scottish. You are a Scottish act now. You are the pride of Scotland. That's coming from me. I'm from a little village just in Cambridgeshire, and I believe you are Scottish. But look, the Euros are on. Fucking love international tournaments. I love it. I didn't watch Qatar 2022, as I said on the last podcast, because I think I'm better than everyone else. I think that was why. And so I am going to watch this one, Euros. This is my tournament out. I haven't watched the international tournament for 3 years. I can't wait. Shame there's no sun. That does make it better. England don't look that good at the moment. We're not looking great. We've got an exciting attack, but I don't know about the rest of our team. We'll see how it goes. And I'll tell you what, you're going to hate me for this, but I want to watch football. International tournament, I'm there to watch the game. It's not an event for me. It's not an event. It's not something that is like a social occasion. You're there to support the team and watch the team. I don't know why I say support the team. They can't hear us, but you know what I mean. You're there we're there to watch, and oh man, I can't be arsed with that. When there's nothing worse as a football fan when you're watching your team lose a crucial game and you've just got people next to you being like, where are we going after this? Does anyone want to do anything after this? And you're like, shut the fuck up. Fortunately, in the group games, there's, a bit more chilled. There's not as much at stake, so it's okay. You can maybe relax a bit, but when the knockouts come out, you want to be with your proper fans. I can't be dealing with anyone, we've just conceded a goal, and they're like, oh, that's a shame. Anyway, so how's things at work? I'm like, fuck off. I'm trying to be depressed. I'm trying to be depressed over here, okay? Let me have a shit afternoon. I went to my first premiere this week. Oh yeah, baby. Woodsy's on the red carpet. Well, it wasn't the red carpet, it was the black carpet, because of diversity. Because it was House of the Dragon TV show. And I'm doing some work with them, so they invited me and a few other creators. People I knew went down, the carpets were black and green because that's to do with the show. And I tell you what, it was fun. You know what? People always slag off the 1%. I tell you what, when you're in the 1%, it feels great. It feels awesome. You know who slags off the 1%? People who've never had the 1%. When you're on that carpet and you're looking at these fans going, Ali, sign my stuff. They weren't saying that with their mouths, but I could see it in their eyes. When they're saying all this stuff, you think, oh yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. This is the right side of it. I'm not supposed to be with the plebs, the civilians, the ants. That's their job over there. I should be enamored by these people. I should be revered as I walk anywhere, really. Anywhere. Sainsbury's, other places. That's where I go. I'm about. Don't worry about me. No, it was awesome, man. It was wicked. It was nice that I had a couple of people I knew there and then chat to a couple of people. But you know what it was part of what made it so good was how unserious I took it. I went with a bag. I didn't even clock. I had a gig on round the corner afterwards, and I didn't even think about what I'd look like on that red carpet or whatever. I was just like, I need to take my bag because it's got my gig stuff in it. And then only when I arrived there at the red carpet, I was like, oh shit, I've still got a bag on. Everyone else is looking gorgeous. And I've tried. I've got a velvet blazer on. I'm not doing too bad. The velvet blazer. Velvet blazer, most expensive item of clothing I've ever bought. I went to the Brits in 2022. Was invited. Haven't been invited back. I was invited by YouTube. I think they were doing a push for like shorts creators. But then I still don't get any views on YouTube. If you're seeing this on YouTube, you'll know. You look at the views right now. You see how many subscribers I got. I ain't got millions of subscribers. So I've not been invited back by them. And fair enough. So yeah, I got this blazer on. I'm looking all right. I'm looking decent. Got my nice shoes on. But I've just got this bag. And you know what I think is the most liberating thing? And this is little Ali's advice corner, by the way. I'm also about to just have a sip of water. And I've had some feedback on the water saying, not sure how I feel about the slurping and the gurgling. Look, I'm sorry. I need to stay hydrated. I'm really sorry. But what can you do? What, you gonna kill me for breathing next? I hope that wasn't too painful. So, this is the advice I would give. If ever you're in a situation where you feel like you might be a bit lame, be a bit of a nerd, be sticking out a bit, generally, I think, lean into it. That's what you got to do. I think people, and this is a lesson I've learned from stand-up, people will respect you more if you're yourself, even if that means you're not fitting in. You will get more adulation from that than pretending to be the same as everyone else. Because people, and it's a funny thing actually, people, even though you feel like people aren't that perceptive generally, people can smell the inauthenticity. They really can. So I'm rocking up in my bag. Everyone else is looking cool. And also, this isn't just like comedy creators. This is all sorts of creators. So there's people who are really fashionable and sexy and hot and awesome and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just like, right, I'm going to be the comedy guy. I can be the comic relief. Everyone else here is trying to give it a big and give it like, oh, like getting pictures and looking all cool. I'll look really dumb. I don't care. Fuck it. That's what I'll do. That's my thing. So I lent into that because that's more me. So I went there with a bag. I did some really stupid poses. The cameramen were laughing at me. One guy, when I did a little video thing, I was like, was that really cool? And he went, well, it was different. But you know what? The looking at the stuff afterwards, I was like, I'm so glad I did. This is so funny. This is so much more funny. Imagine if I had just pretended that I'm like some sort of TV star and just like on a red carpet pouting and shit. Nah, man, that's not me. I'm not a cool guy like that. I'm not a sexy guy like that. I'm the guy who has a bag with his camera and some tissues in it, man. That's my thing. That's where I am. So I buckled up the bag. And it was awesome. It was great. I would really advise you to do that. If you're ever feeling like maybe I'm not cool enough to be here, lean into it, man. Just be uncool. Then that makes you cool. It's a strange reverse thing. I mean, I don't know if it made me cool in that situation, but it made me happy. And that's a good thing. Yeah, man, it was cool. It was nice. Also, thank you so much to everyone who's been coming to my work in progresses. I feel like I'm finally starting to get to the bottom of this show. Oh my God, last 2 whips have been good. And also, you can always find tickets to my shows on my website, my tour coming up in the autumn, and also work in progresses as well. That's check on my Instagram on the bio. And also my Edinburgh Fringe show. If you're at the Edinburgh Fringe or know people at the Edinburgh Fringe, tell them to come to my show because it's starting to now feel really good. Last thing I want to talk about before we get onto the listener sort of struggles is I had dinner with my friends on Tuesday. Now that's rare for me. I'm normally gigging every night. That's what so 6 nights a week, take Sundays off. But Tuesday I had dinner with my friends because I didn't have a gig and I'm trying to take a different little tact on life. I'm trying to be like, well, look, there's no point in doing some shitty 10-minute gig to 20 people in a random place in London that doesn't really help you. You might as well live life in that evening and that will give you more experience that you can talk about on stage. So it's actually better for comedy, but, you know, aside from all the blah blah, like making human connections and friendship bullshit that people like to believe is important. It's all about efficiency in comedy. So I had dinner with my friends. It was lovely. My mates just bought a flat, and he also had a breakup, and then they got back together. So we were just chatting about that and stuff. Here's my thing: our relationships just wants to be complained about? Is that what they are? Are they just topics to be complained about? We were having this discussion. There's 4 of us. 2 of my friends are in relationships, and me and another guy are single. And they were talking about their partners, and it was just complaining, just talking about how. I mean, you know, that they love them and all that, but like the talking about how the high maintenance side of them, and they were like, yeah, you just got to do that. You got to push your feelings down. You pretend you didn't get. I'm like, what? I honestly, I was a bit perplexed, but I said to him, that's why I'm single, because I don't know if I could put up with that stuff. I don't want to. I mean, look, there's compromise. Nothing in a relationship's perfect, obviously, but when you're talking about, you know, you don't want to. You're feeling a certain way, and you can't talk about that feeling because that would annoy them or upset them. You're like, I don't understand how you could operate like that, or you're basically tactically like moving on certain topics, moving away from other topics, and pretending you like this or pretending you don't like this and stuff. I want to end up with someone who I can be myself with. You know what I mean? Like, we're a team. I don't want to be like strategizing. So maybe that's something to put out to you. I don't know if you're listening to this. Like, tell me, because I'm still quite green with relationships. I've had the one serious relationship. I've had a couple of like short-term dating, 3-4 month things. But I mean, that was when I was younger. But I've had one long-term relationship, and I mean, it didn't work out. But generally, it was great. I felt like I could truly be myself around her. There was like, I felt like we were a team. I felt like it was really good. And just at the end, didn't work out, but. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But also, I don't know. Maybe it's just we're 30. We're all sitting there with 30, and maybe people are just, I don't know, starting to cash in their chips in it. Just being like, well, it's not perfect. It's stressful. It stresses me out every day. But I don't think I can get anything better at this point. I don't know, man. And look, hey, they both said they love their partners and all that, and there's no. So I don't know. Maybe that's just relationships. Maybe I'm the weird one. Maybe that's why I'll be single for a long while. Maybe that's I don't know. Something to put out there. Right, we've come to the listener struggles, and this is exciting because we actually have a voice note now. The person who sent in this voice note. Firstly, thank you for listening to the podcast. I'm not going to lie. Some editing has been required. It was very interesting to listen to. But there's like 2 minutes, and I've picked out the sort of maybe 20 seconds where there's actually a sort of problem. I want to say as well that the context of this is they're talking about they had a breakup 8 months ago with a long distance relationship. So now they're sort of theorizing about that. So here is it's a struggle. Hopefully you can hear this.
Anyway, I just think there's something to dating in your 30s, long distance, and or other cultures, because I consider myself quite worldly, never dated an American. And for some reason, it kind of formed a big stressor and wedge for us, and also a couple of my other friends as well.
So, hopefully you got that. By the way, she's also out of breath because she's walking up a hill, supposedly. I don't know what she's doing. That's what I was told. There could be a hill involved. There could not be a hill involved. But quite breathy voice note. But thank you very much for sending that in. That's awesome. So basically, what we're talking about there is long distance relationships, and she's saying quite a few of her friends have had long distance relationships. She's found it very stressful having long distance relationships, but at the same time, she's never dated anyone American. She's from America. So, is there something to that? And look, hey, I've just literally said I'm very green on relationships. I don't know. But what I will say is I've obviously had friends in long-distance relationships. Do you remember last week when I was talking about the romances you have in your life that are at work or they're in housemates was what we had last time. And I think you can romanticize this stuff. I think sometimes the long-distance relationship falls into that category where you can overly romanticize what's happening right now. So if you're thinking about a rom-com, you're thinking about a long-distance relationship. We made it against all odds. It was beautiful. We're lovers across different sides of the planet. But our love is so strong that we bond together. And that could be true. And that could well be true. And if so, good luck to you. But what I would say is, never fall in love with the story. Never fall in love with the story. I mean, I just think sometimes you got to play the hand you're dealt. And if this is stressing you out, being in a long distance relationship, and there's no sign that one of you is going to be moving to the other anytime soon, it might be time to pack it in. I don't know about the cultural side of it. That's what she was saying as well, because she said her ex was from North London. Shout out North London. And my ex was from Ireland, so she was like, maybe that's also part of it, that you end up having this culture clash with someone. And look, I'm actually thinking about doing a video on this. I've seen that pattern in my friends, where their first partners, they're quite different to them. And then who they end up with, you're like, oh, okay. So, I remember when you were listing out what you wanted in your partner, them to be like passionate and care about what's going on in the world, and and a good dancer and all that shit. And it's like, oh no, you've just found someone who earns a similar amount of money to you and is from a similar area from where you're from. So I do see that trend in people, but having said that, man, I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's one of the most wonderful things in the world when different cultures get in a relationship and both sides learn about the others. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love having an Irish girlfriend for that. I mean, it's not too dissimilar to English culture or London culture, but I love that. I mean, they do yap. They're yappers. You know, they're full yappers. I mean, this is coming from me. I'm doing a podcast on my own in my bedroom with no one here, and I'm calling her a yapper. That is how you know. But I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't think that can't work. I think the cultural thing is not as big a problem. I think, you know, your values, that's not purely based on what race you are, how you were raised, and what location and stuff. That can be core stuff in you that someone else could align themselves with, despite them being from a different type of house or culture or whatever. So I don't really believe in that. But what I will say is the long distance stuff, I think sometimes people love the story more than they're actually enjoying the relationship. And I also think, and this is happening with a friend of mine now, that sometimes the long distance stuff is a get out clause for why you don't put any effort dating here. Well, I've got this partner, you know, 1,000 miles away, and we call, and like I can't do anything here, you know. So it's like, okay, well, so are you actually scared of being single again? Is that what's happening? So you've got this like AI partner. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too cynical, but be in love with the person and not the story is my point. Okay, we got time for one more. Let's do it. Right, now I had some actually good ones here that people were sending in. So let's another one just quickly on that. Long distance with my boyfriend for the summer until I start my PhD in the fall. I think if it's just for the summer, similar thing, that's okay. They're ending in sight. Also, shout out comedian friend Andre de Freitas. I watched Andre de Freitas' set, and as a Portuguese person, it made me re-examine my life. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm going to tell him it's bad to annoy him. Right, okay, and I mean, there's a few good ones here, but I am going to say, quick shout out. Regrets. I went to Covent Garden from Italy to see your show, but were too shy to say hi, and congrats. Loved it. Never be too shy to come up. I'm always chatty. I'm chatty. I'll say hi. Don't worry about it, man. I get you're shy, but you got to just push that feeling down. Come poke me and go, hey, what's up? Thanks for the show. Okay. Fallen in love with a poly woman who has OnlyFans despite having a jealous streak. Now, where do we begin with this? Fallen in love with a polyamorous woman who has an OnlyFans despite me being a jealous person. Well, I mean, what can you say? It's not looking good, bruv. It's tough though, man. I feel for you. Like if you've fallen for someone, it is hard, and yeah, I mean, there must be something about her that's made you do that. I think polyamory is becoming more and more of a obviously pressing topic nowadays. I don't know if it works. I don't know if it's better. I believe it's probably something like a lot of these things in relationships, that some people would love it and some people would hate it. But if you are the jealous person, then I'm not sure this is the one, brother. I'm not sure it's the one. What I do in these situations is I always imagine in my head the worst case situation. So what is that to you? Is it the idea of you, of her coming back the next day and hanging out with you, and you'd be like, what'd you get up to last night? And she's like, I had such passionate sex with this bloke I just met. Is that it? Is it that she'll be like, oh, I'm dating you, and I'm also, sorry, I can't do Wednesday, I've got a date with my other boyfriend. Is that it? And then think, right, how does that make me feel? Could I get over that? Could I deal with that? And I'm not talking about worst case situations like someone's cheating on you or someone's like, run over your dog or something like, but as in stuff that in the parameters of the relationship you've agreed to, how could you? It's like when I went to the sexy rave thing. It's like you got it in your head. Be like, if you're going with people, if you're going with someone that you've got off with before, you might have feelings for. You could be like, okay, how am I going to feel if I see them getting off with someone else, going off with someone else, going home with someone else? How does that make me feel? It's the same thing about with my ex or with other girls I've liked before. And I think, can we be friends? And it's like, in my head, I'm like, right, how would I feel if she was telling me about this date she had that was amazing last night, or she turned up with her new guy or something like that? How would that make me feel? Would I feel fine? Would I feel okay? Would I feel happy for her? Or would I feel upset? And if I'm upset, then it's like, well, we can't be friends. You got to think in your head, how would you feel about the polyamory? If it makes you upset, don't think this is the one. And if you really like her, it's always worth maybe going for it and being like, well, look, would you want to be try monogamy? Would you want to be experimental and try monogamy with me? Would you want to be crazy? So, yeah, because she might say yeah, you never know. She might say yeah. And the OnlyFans thing, I mean, way to pay the bills. But again, if that's upsetting you, again, think about it. The worst case scenario, what the OnlyFans, what that like guys are watching her masturbate, that she has sex with another guy on camera, is that, and if that makes you upset, this isn't the one. You got to move on. You got to move on. Sign up to other OnlyFans. Go for it. Live your life. Enjoy yourself. But that is a tangle. Right. Hopefully you're having a good one. Hopefully you got a good week. Mate, let me know what you're doing. Give me a shout. Hit me up. You can always DM me on Instagram. Send in voice notes. You can play them out. That was Ali Woods Broadcast First, episode 7. A voice note from a listener. That is amazing. Thank you so much for listening. As always, you can get tickets to my shows. You can donate to the Patreon to support the show. It's in the link, and the tickets to the shows, the link is in the bio of the episode. But until then, look, I enjoy doing this. I hope you enjoy listening to it. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Send in your voice notes. But otherwise, look, Euros is on. Let's fucking go, England. If you're in the UK, go abroad. Go on holiday. Get some sun. You deserve it. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.